And so I have a bottle of champagne here, and we're going to open it now and just toast our 50th. And I'd like to know Ari here, who put together our cruise, the upcoming one, and he's going to open a bottle of champagne.
Don't forget to shake it up good.
Listen, this toast for the 50th, is that what it is? This toast is for all of you, for the fans that have been with the show since, well, before Johnny and I were born. Anyway, if it hadn't been for all of the fans like you, none of us would be here today. So bless you. Thank you.
There's Roger, capturing this for posterity. Yeah. Whose is this?
Can you sit down up there?
Thank you.
Okay. Roger, have a drink. What do you say? Well, 50 years. I can't believe it. It's been like 2 days. So, Sharon, let's start with you.
Hi there.
Hi, Sharon.
Happy 5-0. It's already been said, but it bears repeating. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and we love you as much as you love Dark Shadows. Thank you for coming out, helping us celebrate, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful time. This is momentous to have all of these people here. Really, I'm excited.
Okay, Roger. Say something.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm just happy to be on the stage here, surprised to be on the stage here, glad to see everybody, and happy 50th. You don't know what I'd give to be 50 again.
We all would give a lot to be 50 again. We have the best fans in the whole world. I did a lot of soap operas. You're the best. And it's wonderful for us to see each other, but it's also wonderful to see you and to ask questions and see how your family is doing. And I'm just very pleased to be here. Thank you all.
Yes, a big thank you to all of you. We do love to come here and see you. It's so wonderful to see so many of our long-term fans and also so many new ones. New, not so much to the show. Many of them have been watching for years but didn't maybe know about this. And now everyone knows about our conventions. And it's just great to see you. And happy 50th anniversary to you and to us, and thank you for coming.
Hello, villagers. Happy 50th, my villagers. My God, we're still here. We're alive. Yes. Good to be here. Good to be. Good to be. Thank you. I'll see you later. It's a hard act to follow. I said it last night. Thank you so much for coming and making 50 years. It's, we owe it all to you. Thank you, Johnny. And it's wonderful, and I want to say about the people on the stage, I mean, we've known each other for 50 years, and it's just been a real joy to know them and to deal with him. He hasn't changed. I knew him 50 years ago, and he's still the schmuck that I knew 50 years ago. So he's a wonderful schmuck. I'm happy to see you. Thank you so much for coming.
Of course, I wasn't born when Dark Shadows came out. But my grandmother got me into it. And I started watching it and I could not stop. So I had to come to one of these conventions to see what it was all about. And I was really astonished because my favorite actor in the whole world was here, Johnny Carter. You guys are so great. We love you so much. Your turn.
You know, the biggest laugh that you got from this audience that I got was when he called me a schmuck. I don't know what that means, but I was born in a tent in Pocatello, Idaho. Now that's a true story. And my mother is here to prove it. Anyway, it's good to be here with you guys. It really is. And it really does give us a wonderful feeling that you are here and looking at us and enjoying us a little bit. Thank you, guys.
I have to reiterate something that John said a number of years ago at one of these conventions. He said, we're going to do this for all of you who used to come to the studio and watch the first runs, and for your children, and for their children, but after that generation, we're cutting it off. That was he that said, not me. I'm happy to see the fourth generation, and I hope we see the fifth.
I was actually getting a little tearful earlier because this really is special. It not only is, the 50th anniversary of Dark Shadows, but actually June 27th, 1966 marks the launch of my career, having been on that very first episode. So it's really very special. The other thing I want to say is that this is my family. I just love these people. We've been together such a long time. We're so close. We see each other through the years. And I don't want you to think that this is the end. Thanks to Ari, we're going to be going on a cruise again in October of 2017. We've got another event planned in LA for, November or October. So we've got other things to look forward to. This is not the end. All of us.
I've already said my piece of stand-up. I'll only say, what can I say? Anybody might remember Shadows of the Night. Calling me to you.
I think we should go right to questions, don't you think? Would you like to ask these people some questions? There is a microphone right there. You can queue up. And let's start asking. I mean, that's what it's about. All right? Who's got the first one? There she does.
Hi, Cindy from New Jersey, and it's great to be here. I mean, this is awesome. Anyway, hard questions to pick and choose, but I have a question for David Selby. I don't know if you will do this, but could you do Shadows of the Night?
Anyone have the music? Oh, you got the sheet. So if I don't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. Sheet music? Oh, I don't mean, does it have the words? Yeah. I know it, but I don't know the rest of the rest of the Oh, I'll do it like this. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me back there? And how does it start? Da, 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 shadows of the night, falling silently, echoes of the past, calling you to me. Haunting memory, veiled in misty glow, phantom melody, playing soft and low. In this world that we know now, life is here, then gone. But somewhere in the afterglow, love lives on and on. Dreams of long ago meet in rendezvous, shadows of the night calling me to you.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. This brings back a lot of great memories and two questions. Were any of you considered to parts in the 1991 revival starring Ben Cross? And did any of you know any of Joan Bennett's sisters, Constance or Barbara? The reason I asked that, when my grandmother and I watched the show on Sci-Fi Channel, I would videotape it when I went to work, and then we would watch it when I got home. And every time I put on the show, whenever Joan Bennett was on the screen, no matter what time period it was, Naomi, Flora, Mrs. Stoddard, she always lit up like a Christmas tree and mentioned Barbara and Constance. Anybody remember them?
Roger, did you remember? Is there a light right there? Well, there was one.
Yeah, the Bennett sisters were a big, big deal.
Yes, I was
And-
considered for the part that Grayson Hall played.
I was considered to replace John Bennett.
No, I actually was. And I
So was I.
auditioned. I didn't get it.
That's a good question. Thank you, sir. All right, sir. Come on up.
I hope to be here for the 100th anniversary with all of you too, by the way.
I have
I see Roger and Willie, you already booked, right? Okay, great. I was wondering, there's so many great performers that unfortunately are no longer with us. I would just ask real quickly for two of my favorites to reflect on Thayer David and Virginia Bestoff. Thank you.
it. Virginia Bestoff.
Yeah, she played my sister, or as I like to think, I played her sister. She was wonderful. She was wonderful. But my favorite person to work with was David, because he was the kindest, gentlest human being that I knew, except when you saw this big burly character and you were afraid, and he'd go, "I'm going to push you into the coffin now." Don't worry. And then we go to a commercial break, and he would say, "I'll be right here," because sometimes they forget to let you out. And I'm a little claustrophobic. But he was always there, and he ate candy bars all day, all morning, all night, all afternoon. Loved him. And Virginia was a real class act.
He also drank Cokes all day.
And he was a speed reader. He read books like this. How in the world do you do that? He said, "It's easy." He was very smart, well-educated person. Yeah. Very.
He was also married to one of
He was also married to one of the most voluptuous women, Valerie French. Okay. Hello, how are you?
Doing good. Actually, I'm doing fabulous. Just want to say you guys are amazing. I love all of you. And my question is for all of you. As you guys have played many roles on the show, if you could have played another actor's role, who would it have been?
Who would I have played? Shirley.
I didn't audition for the 1991, but when the CW did that reboot, I screen tested for the role of Elizabeth Collins Stoddard. And I'm not sure, Blair Brown actually ended up playing it, but I'm not sure that that's not the role I would have wanted to play, because I've always thought that there was a story that Dan Curtis wanted to tell about Elizabeth that just never got told. And it had to do with the husband. I always figured he was buried in his cellar, and what a good story that would be.
I think I would have probably liked to have played Nicholas Blair. He was so wow, debonair, had that glint in his eye. Yeah, he was a great actor. We really miss Humbert a lot. And this is the truth, I always wanted to play the little girl Sarah. I don't know if that tells you anything about me, but at this stage of the game, I don't care.
I've always wanted to be Josette.
Julia. Crazy Jenny.
Johnny Carlin. So ambitious and devilish, and he was such a wonderful actor too, and he's still the same way.
I agree, Willie. He just could do anything. And sometimes the rest of us would be like, I think I blew that scene. I didn't. He'd come out and just go, I take care of it all. We all wanted to play your roles, John.
Well, I'm really surprised that nobody picked up with all the hubris that I have innately. Of course, why wouldn't we all want to be Barnabas? They were supposed to play in a vampire movie other than a vampire. So anyway, that's it.
You have a point. Hey, John, you can borrow my little bonnet anytime. To answer the question, I would never do it justice, and I certainly wouldn't do it as well as the first actress that did it, but I would love to be Crazy Jenny.
That was a wonderful question. Wonderful answers. All right. Hello. Oh, this is the aspiring young actress, right? Yes, there she is. Okay, come on.
Here I am.
Yes. Who's your question for?
It's for all of you, and I just want to say that you all did very well in your all scenes. Like, every time I see you guys, I always say, how do you all pull it off? You do very well, and this is a question for all of you for future references in theater and such, like I am myself. That, like, how did you do all the techniques? Like, is there any new techniques for me and stuff like that?
Start.
Take your time.
First of all, I say, if you have it in here, go for it. Because you can take a lot of acting lessons and learn different theories and techniques, but the bottom line, I felt like, get out there and do it. And by doing it and doing it and doing it, you learn your own technique. You bring that to the part.
I think this is an old story, but
Go ahead, I like stories.
yeah. Spencer Tracy used to say when asked about tips for acting, he said, how to be a good actor. Well, learn your lines, don't bump into the scenery, and never let them catch you doing it. Never let them catch you being an actor, okay? All the naturalness that you can bring to it, bring to it. And then you have a shot if you're unique enough and things fit, and you'll get very, very lucky. Because along with all of this, you have to get lucky, you know? The way Johnny's been lucky all his life.
There's nothing new. It's just truth, it's honesty, and I absolutely agree with Spencer. Don't let them see you acting. You have to love your character, even if it's a serial killer. You have to love your character.
I very enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, I do.
No.
Mine was badly imitating other actors.
Mine was badly imitating other actors.
What was the question again? Do you have any new techniques to share with you?
Yes.
Well, if you have to appear and disappear, you have to be in front of a blue screen. And then you have to make sure they get you the right size. And then you can appear in a room and disappear.
I only one. I'm gonna really say something which I think is worthwhile, and it's this character business. Every time you step in front of a camera or on stage, who's stepping up there? You. Maybe you got a mustache or you're smoking a pipe, but it's you. It's always you, and you can't be anything but you. Character, schmaracter. Doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's you that get up there. How many times have you seen Marlon Brando when he stepped out in front of that camera? Always Marlon Brando. You don't care what he had on. Does that make any sense to anybody? Oh, if it makes a lot of sense, let me hear it. Okay. So anybody who wants to be an actor, just remember, then don't get too far away from yourself, because that's what's going to be up there. Nobody else, maybe with a mustache or a pipe. And that's enough out of me.
Let me get the court. Well, I agree with what John said, but you know, inside of that actor that always steps up there, there's something going on inside, and that's the thought process. And every character will have a different thought process depending on who he is and why he's there and what he's doing. So I think that's where you have to really focus is on that subject, on what's going on in the mind. You can say the same thing in many different ways and with many different thoughts behind it. And those behind the brain thoughts are what really creates the character. That's my take on it. Okay, now we're going to have an argument.
But remember, it's always you stepping up there. There ain't nobody else. Every time you see Marlon Brando, you say, hey, that's Marlon Brando. I don't care what he's doing. Okay, that's enough.
Very deep, and I love it so much.
What was that?
It's very deep, and I'll always remember that from now on.
Oh, this is going to be an odd answer, but for me, writing and acting always begin with what if. So it's what if, and putting yourself in that position, and then just behaving, believing, and always being you in that situation, believing it. Oh, he's not even paying attention. First lesson of acting, listen.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Listen and react. Listen to the other person, the other actor. You know, use your eyes, and you got to be in a place where lightning has a chance to hit you. So if you want to be an actor and you're living in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, of course today they can do everything on the internet. or you're living in Alaska or whatever, at least move to some place where lightning has a chance to hit home.
Thank you for your time, and I appreciate all your cherished words. Thank you for the future.
Thank you very much. Hello, how are you?
Hello. Thank you very much for giving back continually all these years. It's just phenomenal to see you all together and to continue doing this. I guess the thing I would like to know is, do any of you have any particular memories of Grayson Hall that you could share with us?
Grayson Hall, and this is the truth, had the greatest apartment in New York. He had this 7-room apartment right across the street from Carnegie Hall. And boy, did I envy her for that. Of course, Grayson had class, lovely lady, no big deal. But she had the best apartment in New York. That's it.
And she would come in soaking wet after swimming in the ocean, and no makeup, no nothing, just come in and like we had all just walked in and were half dead and you want a cup of coffee. She would have already been swimming for the morning before 7 a.m. Great shape.
Grayson had a pug, and I had a pug. My pug's name was Rosie, and her pug's name was Thing. Girly boy, and we had great friends. So Thing came over to spend the weekend with Rosie, and we played rock and roll music. We played the Stones and waited. Thing tried, but we never got any little puppies. However, she was a great friend and became more of a friend every year. And the thing I remember most about Grayson was she knew how to catch a good light. And if you watch her, you will see the way she smart. She was a movie actress, which was something very special to us. And she used to give us great advice, especially when we're on the film, working on the films. Don't move your face too much, she said. Anyhow, she was a great lady.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, my name is Deborah Collins, and I got a question for all of you. I want to know, each all of you, who was your one and truly love on Dark Shadows?
Your one and truly love on Dark Shadows.
Here we go again.
Personally or
Who was?
professionally?
Oh, here we go. Who was your one and truly love on Dark Shadows? Personally and professionally? Now you can answer that any way you want.
Any way you want.
Stay well away from that one.
You are under no obligation, don't worry. I think maybe, yeah, that's probably for another show. That's probably another, not our circus, not our monkeys. It's all right, okay.
Okay, James, can you tell me who your one and only love was? I'm just asking you.
My favorite love on the show?
Yes. Oh, that's awesome. I love you guys, and you're the greatest. And I hope and pray you guys will just keep going. And I love you all. And thank God I'm here for the 50th anniversary.
Thank you, dear. Hello, how are you?
Hello. My question is for David Philby. Would you like to join me in a dance?
your arms I'll always be.
Arms will lead into to the rhythm of my love. Around and around together we'll be. Oh, I wanna dance with you.
You are terrific. That was wonderful. I wasn't prepared for that.
It's okay.
I have to get my words out, and then I'd be right there with you.
Though I've watched that scene.
We may do an encore of that.
Thank you.
That was great. Even the talent isn't just up on the stage. Talent's out there as well. Yes? Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. My name is Chuck Welch, and I came from Houston, Texas, and I have to fly back tonight, unfortunately. And I've told some people this already. I'm under the impression I'm the only Dark Shadows fan in Houston, because I have a whole wardrobe of Barnabas T-shirts, and whenever I wear them out around Houston, no one says anything. So if I go out of town and wear them, I get compliments, and they say how they used to watch the show and all that. And in Houston, I have to explain to them, I said, it came on around the same time as the Munsters and the Addams Family, only it's more serious. Those were comedies. The Dark Shadows was serious. In person, I think it was better. And it's my favorite show of all time. I'm still addicted to it. And anyway, my question is for Chris Pinnock. I like the way you transformed back and forth from Cyrus Longworth to John Yeager. How is that possible?
That was not easy. Let's see. I mean, I had trouble with Cyrus because he was too much like Jed. And once I finally got Cyrus, I needed to find somebody for John Yeager. You know who I ended up with? James Earl Jones, who was in a movie, and he was like this giant, joyous, evil gorilla. And I used that for John Yeager. He was joyfully evil. He was happy, and killing and raping, and just so much fun, with total commitment. That's how I did it. That's how you will do it. I'll remember that. Thank you. Break a leg.
Thank you. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi. My name is Eugene Grossbeck from Shelby Township, Michigan, north of Detroit. This is our third festival, and I want to thank you all for being here again. It's always a pleasure. And this question is for John Carlin. I believe of all the cast members, John, you're the only one that replaced an actor who portrayed your character previously. And I'm wondering if you had watched Dark Shadows before you auditioned to replace them, and how that all came about, whether that influenced your performance.
I'm going to answer that question, but before I answer it, I want to know how I get old guys to ask me questions, and David Selvey gets all the youngsters. Is there something wrong with me? Am I not fit for human consumption? I don't know. Anyway, anyhow, that question came out of the blue. True story, I was on my way to California. I was leaving, and I got this call about this replacement deal. And I went down, and they made me watch the guy, that poor darling boy, whoever he was now, I forget. There you go. Isn't that beautiful? God bless him. And I had to watch him, and then come up with my own interpretation of Willie Loomis. Willie Loomis, what a great name. Is that enough? Any more? You okay?
No, I'm fine. That's your answer.
There is information about that. Let me see how this started. I have a a friend on Facebook. She's the daughter of Johnny Green, the songwriter. Her name's Kathy Green, and she is friends with James Hall. And she said, I have a friend who was on Dark Shadows who was James Hall. I said, what do you mean? Sam Hall? I don't. So he showed his Facebook page. It was the original Willie Loomis, and he lives out in Santa Monica. So I've been in touch with him. Kathy, take it away.
No, I knew him. I knew him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, and
and I run into him now and again, and he's a very nice guy, but I don't think he ever acted again after that.
I think he did. He went to Broadway. He did a Mice and Men.
It was really hard because I was doing scenes with him, and it was very awkward because all of a sudden one knew that he was going to lose the job and be replaced. It was really hard. I mean, I'm absolutely delighted that Johnny took over, but it was an awkward day.
Well, he doesn't really have hard feelings. He said, I just went right back to work and stuff. But what I would like to do when we move this to California at some point is do an event and have James Hall there with John Carlin. Wouldn't you love to see Willie and Willie really, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, moving on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Paul Sousa. I'm from Denver, New Hampshire, and I just want to thank the cast for filling a void in my life when I was 12 years old and my mother had passed away. And I've enjoyed all your performances in Dark Shadows, and you're all great actors. And so I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Paul,
turn around.
Thank you for being my Facebook friend.
Hello. Hi, my name's Molly. I'm from Maine.
Collinsford?
No, Bangor. Yes, that is how it's pronounced. It is pronounced Bangor. My question is actually just for everybody, the cast. If you were to pick another trade other than acting, did you think of being anything else before deciding to become an actor?
No.
The only other thing I've ever wanted to do besides being a performer of any kind is to be a mom, and I got to do that, and I did a darn good job at it.
Well, I never thought of being anything else but an actor. I just always thought I was an actor, you know. But later in my years, I did become a photographer because that had been my hobby for so many years. And at a certain point, about 20 years ago or something, I started doing it professionally and did it for about 18 years. I do it occasionally now, but I did it for a long time. And so I had actually 2 careers, I guess, and 2 professions. And I think now I'm going to go back into painting because I used to paint when my first show was Gypsy, and we all painted backstage, and we ended up with 100 paintings, and we did, and then we had a showing, and the benefit was for Actors Fund, and I sold 3 paintings, which I was very delighted with. In fact, Ethel Merman bought 2 of them. But here was the funny thing. I used to, if I wanted to paint faces, which I was never good at, I'm much better in landscapes and flowers, I would look in the mirror and paint myself. And but it always comes out very distortedly, you know. There's something about looking in your mirror and then painting, and it's odd. So anyway, I kept painting it, and after all, at that point, I was very young, but she started getting older and older. So I decided to call it Comeback. So I had the showing, and Ethel went around and looked at all 100 paintings, and she came to mine, and she looked at it and she said, "Come back? Come back from what?"
I was always drawing when I was a little kid, and at the age of 5, I achieved my first fame I won the National Crayon Artist. Kindergarten, Milton Bradley, National Crayon Art. I drew $500 savings bond. Got my picture in the paper all over Darien, Connecticut. And I have been inspired by Red River, John Wayne. And there was a scene where he's stabbing an Indian. I thought, that's it, that's America. So, anyway, I submitted my name. I won, and they said, Christopher Pennock's picture of a man digging exemplifies America the Beautiful. You have won. And I'm going, but I'm doing an Indian. Stabbing an Indian. But I won it, and then I continued to draw all my life. I'm still doing cartoons and all that stuff. But yeah, I think in my next life I want to be a musician. Yeah.
I was 7 years old in a Christmas play, and I was giving the present. I was the town crier, and I was giving a present to baby Jesus. And I went down, and I never got up. And then I realized that I woke up in the hospital with appendicitis, and I had a lot of attention and all that. I thought, God, this acting's really cool. So I decided to become an actor. But I have a second career as a photographer, which is something I really love. Thank you. Yeah, I always want to be a photojournalist, and I wish I had. There you go. Thank you.
Well, when I was a little girl, I thought I'd like to be a dancer. So I went to ballet school, and I was terrible at it. I thought, oh, I know, I'll be a singer. And my mother said, honey, you can't carry a tune. So I said, well, I guess I'll be an actress, because you don't have to be able to do anything. And that is the truth. Anyhow, I wanted to be a mom. I'm very fortunate. I have 3 great children. And my little grandbaby was 8. I wanted to be a teacher, and I taught school for 6 years, high school and then college, and I really enjoyed that. And I wanted, this is serious, and I wanted to be a writer, and I've gotten to write a few books, so. I still like to be a dancer.
When I was a young boy at school, I used to go into the bathroom and paint dirty pictures on the wall. And all of the people that I painted were in the nude. And I haven't gone too far away from that.
Was this at your house or other people's house?
I don't know, mostly in the village.
The question was, what did you want to... Nothing.
Oh, when I was in 2nd grade, I wrote a play about George Washington, but I gave all the good lines to Martha Washington. And then I played Martha Washington, and I figured, and from then on, honestly, I started writing short stories and plays and acting in them. So I think I wanted to be an actor and a writer since I was, 8 years old. And that's what I am, and I think I always will be. They're twin careers for me, and I couldn't possibly choose one over the other, except that I did toy with the idea once. Some years ago, when I had a chance to, I love the idea of espionage and being a spy, and I love spy thrillers, so it's my secret vice. I think I would have been a spy.
CIA will be calling her tomorrow. Hey.
Say one thing. Yeah, by the way, I am a graduate of the FBI Citizens Academy. I mean, I really am keen on this sort of thing.
I was recruited once by the FBI to stake out the ham and eggs joint on West 72nd Street in Broadway. I said no. I was afraid there might be a friend in there. Johnny, you remember the French impressionist Degas? He painted a lot of young nude bathers when he was young. I wanted to be what? I don't know. I wanted to be an architect. I wanted to write. I wanted to do all these things. And somehow my wife and I ended up in New York. And I wanted to be an actor. And I started to take a job at Brooklyn College. And she said, no, that's not why we came here. We came here so you could be an actor. So she took a job at the American Bankers Association so that we could, you know, while I found jobs. So fortunately, Dark Shadows came along. And what did they do at the American Bankers Association every day at 4 o'clock? The American Banker Association executives went to the boardroom and turned on ABC.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello. I've been happy you online for the past 4 years. For the rest of you, my name is Eric Krugosin. I live in the D.C. area, but I was born and raised in Queens. I'm out of Queens for now 30 years. I just celebrated my big 5-0 earlier this year, in fact. I actually have, off the record, I have, speaking from the Actors Studio, I have a series of 10 questions for my friend Chris Penick, but I'm going to do that at another time, personally. I think he may know where those 10 questions are. But my question is for Roger. It's actually going back to the Replacement era. I became a fan of Alias Smith and Jones, and I remember you being the narrator for the first 2 years, and then you had a guest shot towards the end of the second season, and then here comes the third season, and Pete Jewell, may rest in peace. We won't talk about what happened, but they ended up giving you, playing with the tools they had. Rather than find another actor, they dumped you into his role. Would it have been easier for you if they told you to stay the narrator, if they found another actor, or was it more difficult for you to fall into a role that had been so associated with Pete for 2 years?
It's a really kind of too long a story. Pete and I made a pilot the year before Smith and Jones. It was called The Young Country. I was still just at the end of my my time on Dark Shadows, and so I did that show, and the network had asked for a series with Clint Walker, and what Roy Huggins, who created Maverick, Fugitive, Run for Your Life, Rockford Files, The Cold Ones, 77 Sunset Strip, all these shows, and knew me from when I'd been under contract with Warner Brothers as a young man, kind of rediscovered me through commercials, and called me out, and gave me this role in The Young Country. And Pete and I were there in a whole show together, along with Joan Hackett. And when we got through, it tied for the highest rated movie of the year. It got great reviews, saying Joan Hackett and I would have had a string of movies written for us in the old days, and blah, blah, blah. But Barry Diller, who headed the networks, went back to Roy Huggins and said, hey, I asked for a show with Clint Walker, and the show that went on the air was a Western with Clint Walker. The next half season, a fellow that you all probably, I don't know, Glenn Larson, he did a jillion shows, okay? Wonderful shows like Magnum P.I. and McCloud,
Knight Rider,
Quincy and Knight Rider and Galactica. Started to be the producer of a new show called Alias Smith and Jones. And I was then doing a lot of voiceovers, so I got that. And Roy had me do a guest spot on Smith and Jones. And I had great reservations because I was a very good friend of Pete's. And it was difficult, but it still was a wonderful show to be able to have the honor to do.
Well, would it have been easier if they had said when Pete passed away, if they said, hey, they found another actor to replace him and you can stay the narrator? Would that have been easier for you rather than to fall into his role? This show is using the tools that they had rather than go fishing for someone else?
Look, I can be glib and tell you, I don't know, okay? Which is a very straight answer, but the bottom line is you divert in life, you sort of, look, everybody up here knows you kind of take what's offered to you. We're not actors, you're not seeing actors up here who get 10 scripts every week to read, okay?
Yeah.
And decide, those... Except for Jim and Johnny. Okay. But, you just bite your tongue and you head out and you do your job.
Grin and bear it, as it were.
Yeah, it was a terrific show, an honor to be
Ben Murphy's a good actor, I mean, eh?
Ben Murphy was, look, there was a way to do the show, which would have been to have introduced my character in an